Thank you so much for joining us here today. I guess just to start off, can you talk us through a little bit of Moderna's earnings? I understand you can get us through that because that's the reason we're talking about this as those shares are higher here today. What did you like there?
Hey, well, Moderna put up a great quarter in the face of uncertainty, as you can imagine, with the waning of vaccines and boosting. But they put up a great quarter. They obviously announced a big U.S. contract again, which is important as we roll out a new booster. And they maintain the guidance and the outlook. So great quarter out of Moderna.
And as we're looking at the entire sector before we get into more specific companies, in general, biotech is not going to be as much a risk when we're thinking about things like inflation or a pullback of consumer spending. If you need a prescription drug that one of these companies makes, you're going to pay for it, right? That's not going to be something you're going to cut. Are these more recession-proof stocks?
Yeah. Well, Heather, that's exactly what I think is going on here. You take a look at since the middle of June and pull up the XBI, the biotech stocks have done phenomenal in the last 4 to 8 weeks. I think on the heels of the fact that this group has been overlooked for the past year and a half out of the recovery plays around the market. And certainly as the Fed was raising interest rates and we're certainly worried about a global recession, a lot of the big cap pharma and biotech stocks have done well, both because of their defensive nature, a lot of dividend yield, particularly out of Gilead and Amgen. Gilead, I know, up 6% today, and a lot of the mid-cap biotechs, which are particularly interesting in the face of M&A and acquisitions, which could happen out of large pharma, which is another interesting angle. So we do think this has been a good sector for the second half, and I do think we could see a continued move up for the sector into the end of the year.
What about the near-term headline risk with the reconciliation bill and the potential discussion there of drug pricing?
Yeah, it's really interesting. We have a note out this morning as well, and there's quite a lot of consternation around whether the market really is concerned about drug pricing and direct Medicare price negotiation, which is in the reconciliation bill, and we fully expect that to get done over the next weeks and the next month. Gilead as well yesterday suggesting that this is likely. And I think it's really a question of near-term versus long-term. We do think, while there could be some headline risk for some of these stocks, which have obviously done well over the last 4 to 8 weeks, that there could be some pullback. But I do think that the longer-term concern is far outweighed by the fact that near-term, there's a lot of recessionary risk, a lot of earnings risk, and we do feel very good about the earnings numbers out of these large-cap biotechs and pharmas. Again, Gilead and Moderna, both putting up good numbers, and I think that's really important in the face of other sectors.
One of the great medical miracles, I think, of my lifetime was to watch companies like Moderna, Pfizer, and others come up with a vaccine so quickly and mobilize so quickly with government help under the Trump administration. I'm increasingly concerned about monkeypox, and I don't know whether any of the companies you follow are on the forefront of finding vaccines for that, or if we already have one. What can you tell me there?
Yeah, well, Tyler, this actually came up in the Moderna call. Moderna has said that they have a preclinical program, that they're working on that. And I think there's a lot of discussion as to what they want to do. I think obviously they're watching the situation, which is dynamic. Appreciate that the WHO has deemed it an emergency. But I think there are certainly questions around how much investment to push forward there. There's obviously a vaccine available in limited supply. And so I think that this is a fluid situation. So more to come there. And Moderna talked about that. But I do think, rest assured that they're ready to go.
Well, that's good to hear, because we certainly don't want to get caught flat-footed going into the winter season.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.